State surplus vehicle sale, the third auction here in the state of Delaware over the past 3 weeks, and that's after a 3-month break because of the coronavirus. The first auction 3 weeks ago, there was hardly anybody here. I counted maybe 3 folks. There was a lot of good deals. I bought that Durango for $13.55. The second auction, last week's auction, tons of folks here, tons of bidding, and a lot of the cars sold for full retail price. This time, not a lot of people here. I've got high hopes, high expectations that we can find something at a good price, get a good deal on it, get a good car. So let's get out here, let's take a look, see what we find, and let's come up with some values and see if we can get lucky. All right, first car, lot 415, 2012 Chevy Impala, PPV, 82,400 miles. Bidding right now, $1,100. Usually these things are selling in the mid 3,000 range. I've seen them go a little higher. Every time I come to these auctions, I got my fingers crossed I'm going to find a good one and be able to snag it for under $3,000. Here in Delaware, these are used as driver education cars. These have a 3.6 liter V6, 300 horsepower. These things are also notorious, from what I'm reading, for having blend door actuator problems and AC compressors going out. This one is clean and tidy. I'm not seeing any body damage, no dents or dings. The interior is straight, no rips or tears. It's about the only thing I'm seeing right there. And that is it. I'm curious what this thing's going to end up at. I don't have high expectations of that this is going to be my day, but I'll be watching. All right, lot 413, 2012 F-250 4x4 crew cab, 90,000 miles. Bidding as at $11,850. These things always sell for a lot of money here. This one, you can just make out some sticker shadows on the door, down the side, and luckily, we could tell exactly where it came from. This thing is super clean, super nice. This thing is ready to work. So even though this one came from Denrec here in Delaware, I've also seen the state coroner driving these around as well. Man, this thing is nice, and this is going to sell for a lot of money. And Brad, that right there is for you, my man. No tears, no blemishes. This thing is clean. Lot 423, it's a 2014 Ford Explorer 4x4, 82,000 miles. Bidding is at $5,100. Last week there was a blue 2014 Explorer sold for $10,200. Had more miles at $116,000. I pulled up KBB pricing on this before coming down, and trade-in value is $8,300 to $9,600. Private party, $11,000 to $13,000. It has these tires on it, and it's got a hitch on the back. So it's purposeful. For some reason, it's set up this way. It's got that awful color interior. I mean, but it's clean. And a third row. So look, if the Explorer that sold here last week sold for $10,200, had more miles, I'm going to guess that this is going to sell for full retail as well, probably on the high side of private party. I'm going to throw a guess out there of, I don't know, $12,500. And this right here is the star of the auction, a 2004 Crown Vic Police Interceptor, 108,000 miles. Bidding is already pretty brisk at $1,700. 2 years ago, I used to find these things at this auction routinely, and I used to buy them for cheap. I'm talking $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. I averaged somewhere around $1,500 or so on each Crown Vic. Since then, these things had stopped showing up. And when they do pop up at this auction, I'm talking 1 or 2 a year, man, they go for a lot of money. Check that out. Can you see that? The tire is 8 years old. Lots of tread on that tire. Makes me think this thing has been sitting for quite a while. I'm not seeing a lot of problems with it. It's just some checking here on the bumper. Over here on the hood. Otherwise, it's clean, man. Inside, we have the cloth seats up front, of course, and in the back, same thing. I'm not seeing any marks in the headliner from where a partition would have been. Missing the dome light, it's only white. Uh-oh, might be a dead battery. Dead. You got the old school steering wheel. You have the old dash from 2004 and earlier. Some holes in the dash here. And classic, look at that. Down here on the floor, we have some brackets for the radio controls. We got a speaker down there on the tunnel. It's a weird color on the door. It's a different gray than what's on the dash. Hard to see in the sun. I like the interior. Man, that's pretty clean. It's nice seeing these things here at this auction again. Let's see where this ends up. I'm betting it's going to go for big money. Lot 409, a 2012 Ford Focus, 42,900 miles. Bidding is at $1,300. You should know about the power shift transmission recalls and the buyback program. I wanted to check KBB, see what they list these things as, and they show a price of $3,400 to $4,400 with this miles. That's a trade-in value, and a private party between $5,400 and $7,300 for this thing. Unbelievable. Facebook Marketplace shows asking prices in the $4,000 to $5,000 range. Last week there was 8 of these that sold, all to the same buyer. The same person bought all these, clearly a dealer. These are always in nice condition. They always look good. They're well cared for, but you just don't know what you're going to get with that transmission. Actually, you do know what you're going to get with the transmission. Nothing good, that's for sure. Last week, one sold just like this. Same condition, similar miles, $6,300. Oh my goodness. Air's blowing cold. The engine sounds good. We have power up here. And in the back, window cranks. There's a bunch here at this auction. I'm curious if the same dealer is going to snatch up all these as well. Let's see where this one ends up. Lot 408, 2013 Dodge Caravan, 86,200 miles. Bidding is at $1,500. That's deceptive. These things go for a lot of money at this auction. They're always clean. Look at that. Well cared for, kept up, maintained. I see these at the park systems here in Delaware. And usually these things sell in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. Look how well cared for that is and clean. I also found out that before these cars get to this auction lot, they're sent to the local prison, and the prisoners, they detail these things. They make them all look good, man. And I think that really helps with the selling prices on these as well. I see one little ding here. I see a little scrape up here on the fender. I mean, superficial, real minor. I keep thinking I need to pick up one of these things, especially with a family of 6. And these are always in nice condition, but you can't test drive it, so there's tons of risk with that. And dropping $6 or $7 grand with that much risk, it's just not my thing. Let's see where this ends up at. Lot 407, 2006 Ford E250 van, 27,000 miles. Look how nice that is. I got a little scrape down here though. I got a ding in the back door. But the problem's right down here. A little bit of rust. Surprising considering the miles. Last week, a similar van, same year, sold for $8,150, but it had almost double the miles that this van has. And people like these things. The steering wheel looks a little rougher than I would expect for 27,000 miles. Interior's clean, man. Oh, check that out. Oh, it's going right to work. We got good tires on it. A straight rocker, a little bit of rust on the rear quarter. Again, that surprises me. So if the van last week sold for $8,150 and this has less miles, what do you think this one's going to go for? Do you think sitting around for so long, also with not being driven, you think that's going to hurt its value? You know, oil leaks, gaskets, rubber pieces, all that stuff goes bad when it's not used. Lot 441, 2013 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor, 71,000 miles, all-wheel drive. Bidding is at $4,600. These don't show up very often. I've seen one other Police Interceptor Explorer here over the past year, and it was smashed up. It had super low miles, something like 36,000 miles. But again, the airbags were deployed, the front was messed up, and needed a lot of work done to it. That truck sold for $7,200 at the auction last year. This one looks clean. I like the interior much better on this one. You don't get the third row, you get the column shift, vinyl seats, you don't get all the luxury items. The seat looks a little bit worn when I see it ripped up on that side. I'd be anxious to see where this ends up at. Got a little bit of damage right down here. I'm betting a few clips and then we'll get that back together again. And then we have a Salt Dog salt spreader, $700, current bid amount. Set of trash cans, bidding at $36. Then we have a lot of 6 rowboats, 14-foot metal boats, Sea Nymph. They're right now bidding between $175 and $250. The lower cost ones, that's the problem, where they just got ripped from the anchoring points. So that's the auction preview. Appreciate you joining me. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video.